Number 3 is unique. He's kind and a very welcoming number. Of course, he has the ability to be quite mischievous and is known to be quite naughty. However, number 1 is also quite nice, but instead is much more mature and more of a leader. So when two great numbers like these are combined together, they often produce a number that is a lot less amiable. So 3 plus 1 equals 4, right? Well, 4 is a peculiar number in which she holds herself to a higher regard than she really should. She constantly worships her idol 5, but disregards any numbers that are not him, especially has contempt for numbers 1, 2, or 3, who are well below 5. As a child, these are the types of narratives my mind would come up with while doing math homework. This wasn't me having an overactive imagination. I have synesthesia. So I hope my little narrative didn't scare you, and I promise I'm not under the influence today, even though it might be tempting. This is actually how I perceive the world. But before I begin, it's really important to start off with what synesthesia is. So as termed by Mary Calkins in the early 20th century, synesthesia is defined as an integration of multiple senses together in order to perceive a stimulus. So it was once thought as a rarity, but it is actually much more common than we would expect, with an overall abundance rate of 4% in the general population. Multisensory integration refers to combining multiple senses together in efforts to perceive a stimulus. This is a feature that all of us have, but is stimulated much more in those with synesthesia. So it is stimulated much more in those with synesthesia. So picture a dog, any type of your choice. So I'm hoping this will make more sense. So if you picture a dog, any type of your choice, you would first process the overall spots of the dog through your retinal ganglion cells. Next, you would process the lines of the dog through your striate cortex. Then you would process the smell of the dog through your olfactory cortex as the... Sorry, I'm really nervous. Let me start. So the sounds of the dog, okay, the smells of the dog would be processed through your, would travel through your nasal cavities and bind to receptors in your olfactory cortex. Now, by themselves, all of this information is completely meaningless, but combined together, it gives us a beautiful representation of our really annoying but loving soulmate, our dog. So back to synesthesia. How does this all relate? Well, as mentioned before, this is synesthesia is an enhancement of multisensory integration. But then why do some people have it and others don't? Well, while sensation is the same for everyone, perception is relative and multimodal, which might explain why some people have it and others don't. So what are the benefits? Well, aside to experiencing LSD without actually ingesting it, no, I'm just kidding. I can honestly say that it has really helped my memory, but also helped me to do better in math. So assigning personalities and also giving numbers their own narratives helps me to remember what steps I need to perform. For example, 5 hates 3 because of 3's nonchalant and mischievous ways. If the equation 5 minus 3 equates to 5 slashing 3 into his beloved soulmate 2, who is the held 5. So many artists and novelists also seem to have synesthesia, which would account for why their artwork is so good. So synesthesia is thought to enhance color detection, auditory processing, and tactile acuity. So is evolution connected with synesthesia in some way? Do those who have it seem to gain some benefits? The only answer is X-Men, so good night. Anyway. But actually, on a more realistic note, 40% of us who have the condition have a family member with the same or similar condition. So it's not unreasonable to think this way. Did synesthesia allow us to know which bushes had more berries than others, which fruits were safe, or which ones posed the kiss of death? Did it allow us to hear a predator coming by triggering an alarming color? Oh, hell, I don't know. But nevertheless, 90 to 95% of us who actually have the condition say that life is much more beautiful and it wouldn't be the same without it. So now I challenge you. Have you ever thought about the ways in which you process the world? I didn't really until this year, and I'm adamant that many of you don't really know either. Either that, or some of y'all are just tripping tonight in this theater. Thank you.